Guys, I'm so sorry I didn't do my video yesterday. It was just one of those crazy busy weekends again, and I know there's no excuse, so I really am sorry, but that's actually given me inspiration for my next video. You know, maybe I should do something on time management, and maybe I'll learn a thing or two from there. But I hope you guys are all doing really good and doing really well, and that you're keeping safe and healthy and warm. Guys, today I wanted to speak about guilt. Now, guilt is something that I'm sure we are all very, very familiar with. You know, either we have felt it or are feeling it, or know of someone who has felt it or are currently feeling it. But either way, at some point, I think all of us have felt guilt to some extent. Now, guilt is defined as having behavior that, where you feel responsible for the regret or lack of behavior, either towards something that's real or imaginary. And it's only really when this guilt is excessive or where it affects your daily life that it becomes an illness. Okay? Now, most people have guilt in response to a loss or to grief. You know, a lot of us feel, maybe I should have spent more time with that person. Maybe I should have done this more, or maybe I should have done that more, or maybe I should have just said, heard them out more, or communicated better, or checked up on them more. Either way, we've all been exposed to guilt, or some aspects of guilt. All right? Now, over my life, or during my life, I've seen firsthand what guilt can do to people. Okay, I've seen guilt destroy people's lives. I've seen guilt make people indulge in very, very unhealthy behaviors or toxic behaviors. And I've seen guilt destroy the lives of those around that particular person, especially when they yield to destructive behaviors like drinking or drugs, or a culmination of the two, or many other behaviors that just aren't great and that are unhealthy. But regardless of the source of your guilt, if you don't deal with that guilt effectively, and if you don't work through it, guys, it can really, really affect your mental health and your physical health. So today I just want to give 3 very quick tips on how to manage or deal with your guilt effectively. Okay? The first one is, ask yourself, is this guilt relevant? Is this guilt appropriate? Okay? Now, a lot of the times our guilt can prompt us to change our behavior for the better. Okay? An example being, maybe you are a parent and you work a 90-hour week and you don't spend enough time with your kids. Okay? That guilt stemming from that could prompt you to coordinate or try and adopt a healthier work-life balance, where you leave work at work, and when you come home you spend your time with your kids, and you divide your time between work and personal life more easily, and you balance it out more, a little bit better. Okay? In that sense, your guilt is prompting you in a positive way to change your behavior. Okay, other times maybe you promised your friend you would start eating healthier because they were really worried about your health and your overall health, and then for 2 weeks you've been binging on eating chocolates and chips and just eating takeouts and drinking a lot of gassy drinks. And then the thought of you promising that friend you'd change your behavior makes you feel guilty. So you stop the bad eating and you revert back to the healthy eating, or a more balanced lifestyle or balanced way of eating. Okay, so in that instance, the guilt is relevant and it's appropriate. So always ask yourself, is my guilt helping me? Is it bettering me? Is it changing my life? Or is it helping me to change my life? Okay. The second one is, don't allow yourself to wallow in self-pity. Okay. Now, guilt is common and we all experience it, or we all have experienced it. And more often than not, our guilt can be rational guilt or healthy guilt, and it can prompt us to change our behaviors and our mannerisms for the better. But when we are constantly obsessing over that guilt and not doing anything to change that behavior, okay, then that big guilt is negative and it's toxic. Okay, if we're not using that guilt to either apologize to the people who we've wronged, or we've done something we're not proud of or happy about, or if we have not changed our past behaviors to better ourselves, then that guilt is negative, guys. And in the long run, it affects your mental health and your overall health. Okay, so try not to wallow. Okay, try and work through it, rationalize through it, and do what you can to get through it. Okay, my last one is accept that, you know what, we're not perfect. We're human beings and we make mistakes. Okay, during this course of our lives, we are all going to or have done stuff that maybe we're not proud of, maybe we're ashamed of, but at the end of the day, okay, we're not perfect and we are going to make mistakes. Okay, but as the older we grow and the more we mature, you know, and if over time we learn from our bad mistakes and change it, you know, then it's being used to our advantage. Okay, so guys, you know what, don't harbor on those feelings of guilt from the past. You know, if you are repeating the same mistakes, however, from the past, and doing this or repeating the same behaviors, then obviously there's a huge problem. But if you have learned from your past behaviors and you are doing better and you are using that past guilt to change your life for the better, then well done, and that's really amazing. But don't allow that guilt or don't carry that guilt with you. Okay, it causes huge emotional distress. And, you know, if we don't deal with that emotional stress well, it could result in very destructive behaviors that not only impacts us, but the people around us. Okay, so those are three very short points on guilt, but I think they were quite important, and I think they are core points on how to manage and deal with your guilt effectively. And I hope they work for you, or I hope you share them with someone who might need to hear it. You know, sometimes people have been carrying guilt for years and years, and it weighs down on them. So, you know what? Ensure that you manage that guilt well, and that you talk about it. You know, don't keep those feelings bottled up. It doesn't benefit you or the people around you. Okay, you deserve a happy life. Okay, you can change your behaviors from the past. Okay. Don't let that guilt go in vain. Use it to your benefit to be a better you. Okay. Guys, I hope that video was helpful and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't already, and if you'd like to see more videos, please like and subscribe at the end. And yeah, we will chat soon, everyone.